Good afternoon and welcome back from the musical break. We are reaching you from the studios of RSTV channel studio to the Garden City of Otaka. And I am surrounded by women, beautiful women. We are still in the month of March and we are celebrating the International Women's Day. And you know that no family can make it far without a woman. And on Saturday, over the weekend, it was the Women's Day, which is celebrated annually. And with me to talk about, I shared some thoughts, on this Women's Day, which the theme was Accelerate Action. Looking at how women, girls, can be empowered, can be given rights, gender equality, because we are relegated to the background. I want to see how far we've gone or what we need to do. How do we support women? How do we empower our girls? So that we don't have this, we want to see how we can have, God made them male and female. Let's see if we can have, because gone are the days when you say, okay, the man is the sole breadwinner of a family. Today we have women who are breadwinners and they're doing perfectly well. We are not trying to compete with the men, but we want to have a little share of the national key. So with me here to do the justice to this, before I give you a little background on the Women's Day, I have for my close right here. Ma'am, introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you. I'm Dr. Iyala Yerimaini.
Okay.
And by the grace of God too, I'm a pastor and a music director of Grace Communal Ministries.
Okay. Okay. The next beautiful lady.
I'm Dr. Ifeobi. I am an educationist, the head of Department for the Student Experience Office at the Nigerian British University.
Okay. Okay, now let's have our women photo on air, the women's photo on air. Now, International Women's Day is celebrated annually on March 8th to recognize the achievements of women and promote gender equality worldwide. It had its origin in the early 20th century, growing out of the labor and feminist movements. Now, in 1908, in New York, women protested against poor working conditions, low wages, and lack of voting rights. In 1909, the first National Women's Day was observed in the US on February 28, organized by the Socialist Party of America. Now, 1910, an International Socialist Women's Conference, Clara Zetkin, proposed an annual Women's Day, leading to the first global celebration in 1911. And then 1917 in Russia, women protested for bread and peace on March 8, which contributed to the Russian Revolution, and the Soviet government made it an official holiday. Now, the United Nations officially recognized March 8 as International Women's Day. Now, this is what gave birth to this day that we celebrate annually. Now, the 8th from that. Now, so this year we're talking about women empowering women, women lifting up women, because if I'm not, I stand to be corrected, we've had one female president in Africa. We had the first female president in Africa who contested the president and won in Africa. Then back home in Nigeria here, we have a lot of women in the big sector. And during the Beijing meeting, gave birth to the 35% affirmative action, which was implemented by the late President Yaradua. Now, we do want to say that this 35% that was implemented then, is it enough for women? That is, now we have 35%. Now, because I know that back in the state here now, back in the River State now, the past governors, or from the second administration, the one that just left and this one, they've tried to include women in politics, because we had a statement from the former president that said women, the place is in the other room. We joke about it a lot, that women are being seen that the only place is in the kitchen and in the other room. So you're not supposed to be voted for, you're not supposed to vote, you cannot be an educator, you cannot be, you can't do anything, you don't have the right to do that. But the times are changing. So, but now, coming back to women, do you think you want to support a woman? Because don't forget, women, now we know how they do. I now say, look, I want to support you now to become the president of Nigeria. I start thinking, when I support her now, she'll become the president now. Next thing now, she'll start carrying fine bags She started riding big cars. Why would I support her? We had a presidential candidate who came out to contest, and it was only her votes, only herself that voted. So my question is now, do you think that women should be given the whole opportunity to compete or try with the men? Because when it comes to provision, we are also providing. Do you think we should continue that? Now, okay.
I think we should be given such opportunity.
Okay.
That's why we talk about gender equality. You know, if men can do what they are doing today, they are in leadership, is as good as a woman also occupying positions.
Okay.
If you look at this, the former Minister of Finance, Mrs. Ngozi
Yes.
Okonjo, you can imagine what she did. She created effect in this country and abroad.
Yeah.
So we think if women are given opportunity, they will do better.
Okay.
There's no need trying to segregate or put them down. They have what others too have. They are human beings. They are created the same way.
Okay.
They can do better when given such opportunities.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay, Dr. Ife,
Yes.
you as an educator, what inspired you to become one?
Actually, I think everybody can be what he or she wants to be if you first believe you can be it.
Mm.
And I think the greatest barricade the female gender has is emancipation from mental slavery, like Lord Dube would sing. A lot of us are caged with the dogma of this is who we are, or this is what we are meant to be. So if you look inwards and you feel like I could do better, the opportunity to do better would come. I didn't start off wanting to be an educator, but one thing about me is that I grabbed every opportunity that came my way, whether it leads to something or nothing. As long as there's an opportunity, I have the will to venture. So that's why I'm here today. And I feel there's so many other opportunities I could venture into.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Lami, what motivated you to pursue a career now? Because I know that you've attained that level now. What was the motivation? Are there no challenges from the male folks that would have really deterred you?
A lot of challenges.
Okay.
But like my colleague said, there's something that motivates you. As in, if you have the passion for it and you want to become, you just be. You know, growing up, I felt, okay, you know, the normal thing, they say don't train girls, don't train female children because they'll end up getting married to men and they'll no longer be who they ought to be. But by the grace of God, you know, I looked at myself and I said, no, I won't only end here. So I started pursuing career from one level to another. We had challenges at different at different times, but that never stopped me from achieving what God wants me to actually be. And today I am where I am, though not perfectly, or will I say I'll say I'm not yet satisfied, because I still inspire to go further in life and become, you know, a better me. So and again, my inspiration comes from God.
Okay. So now, of course, we can't actually do nothing without God, because He gives us the inspirations. He gives us. Once you are there and you want it, it's like He said, knock, I will open. It will be open for you. Now, how can educators help young girls develop confidence and leadership skills in school?
Okay, if I'm given the opportunity to speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, whenever I think about opportunities, I think about empowerment. I
Okay.
think about the definition and what it means. There could be a general summary of what people assume this is what a particular nomenclature means. But I like to define things by experience and by my own understanding. And so I like to say that the first thing to do is for you to think about the purpose of whatever it is you want to talk about. You know, when you talk about training the female child or whatever, empowerment in any word, I see it as a preparation, either in skills or in knowledge,
Okay.
to take hold of your today and your tomorrow. That's it. So it now makes it easier, whether you are in the educational sector, whether you are in the tent, whether you're in the market, whether you're just a housewife, that there's a deliberate effort to want to transfer skills and knowledge that will make the young child be able to take grasp of her future today and tomorrow. And that cannot happen without an enabling environment.
Exactly.
The right set of people around you, the right set of information that will aid you. Because I've seen people from nowhere have risen to become something unimaginable because the environment was enabling. Apart from your willpower, if you have wings behind your wings, you can fly.
Exactly.
And even as I am working in the educational institution, I have this consciousness behind my mind. When I see the young girls moving around and the young boys, I look at them and I don't just see female human beings working around. I'm seeing people who can break and bring a paradigm shift.
Yes.
And cover a lacuna, because when emphasis is laid particularly on a particular gender, either they are bringing problem or a solution.
Yeah.
So my own interest is we're bringing solutions. So there's a deliberate effort to transfer skills and knowledge that made me who I am into them, added with what naturally comes God has given to them to make it an explosive environment.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yesterday, I was watching the DJ NAFDAC. She's old, she's aged, not old, she's aged, because if you look at the previous one, the last one, I don't know why the government chose to give, but women, we are stronger. They refer to us as weaker sex, and I don't think we are weaker sex. Now, I saw her yesterday. She was moving. She was even moving faster than some of the men. She was going from one store to another, trying to, the fight for fake drugs and everything is too much in the country. And I was looking at her and I said, this woman at this age, you should be resting. And also was like, this is the only person that can do this job, because she's not going to be compromised. Now, there have been a lot of threats, a lot of bribing, large sum of money, and she's standing there. That's a woman. Somebody said to me, they said 95% of marriages that work is on the woman.
That's true.
Definitely.
Do you agree?
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. As a woman, we are strong beings and we have this strong passion. And when it comes to achieving anything in the home, you see that the woman who's putting her best, she doesn't give up. She's resilient. She will not want to give up on anything. If a woman is not interested in a marriage, it will fail.
Exactly.
But if she is, she's going to hold on to it. Whatever comes her way, she's not ready to give up. She'll tell herself, look, this marriage, it will work. And it will just work.
Okay.
So the place of a woman in every marriage is crucial. She's the one, again, talking about bearing of children, she goes through that pain alone, so to say, in quotes. She goes through the pain alone because she's the one carrying the baby and everything, the pain, sleepless nights, a lot. Going through her, the feverish condition, not being able to eat well, and here she is, she gives birth to a child. And they say the man has given birth to a child. So she's a strong person. And also so emotional and has that, softness in her. There are things women will just see and let go. But for the man, he might just smile about it and say, hold on to it.
Okay, let me throw this question before I elaborate on it now. What strategies do you think you will use to encourage girls to excel in subjects traditionally dominated by men? We've had a system where it feels as though there are some particular jobs that the men can do. There are some that the women can go. Today, we are seeing women thriving in most of those jobs. I say, what a man can do, a woman can do it even better. Now, we are seeing the women as driver, we are seeing women as a mechanic, we are seeing women as a whatever. So what do you think, what strategy do you want to help the girl child to say, look, this field is male dominated, but you can try. What are those strategies you think you can use?
Well, I would say first of all, the reason why there were particular professions that were linked to particular sex was just what the society
Says.
Okay.
For
brought to
instance,
us.
the engineering.
Yes, that's it. And because of our build and our femininity and our assumed weakness, we were just kept to the corner where there's softness.
Okay.
Yes, but I, in the educational sector, and I look at young girls and say I want to be a mechanical engineer, and I'm impressed.
Okay.
Because I see them coming to have the opportunity to work in the male-dominated, it's still a male-dominated terrain.
Yeah.
It's still. Even when you go to the universities, top positions, where you have the vice chancellors and all, it's a male-dominated terrain. So I think the first thing we'll have to do, and we'll have to start it from the cradle, not in the later years, is to let them know that as long as an opportunity is presented to you, you can be whatever you want to be. your female anatomy doesn't determine who you are.
Exactly.
And you know, so when I look at these girls in school or around me and they're doing these things, I feel very impressed, and I tell them, keep pushing. That's all they need to hear, keep pushing. And then we should have the mind to encourage our daughters whenever they mention a particular kind of interest they want to pursue. Now, I have my reservations because...
Okay, hold your thoughts down.
Okay.
Let's go on a quick break. When we return, you will continue now. Stay tuned to the station. We'll be right back. Good afternoon, welcome back for that quick break. If you're just tuning in, this is RSTV, and we are talking about International Women's Day. Accelerate action. What are you doing in your little corner? Are you empowering someone? Is there a girl, child that you have decided to empower? Have you faced some challenges? I mean, do you want to just sit down at the corner and say, look, this is a male world. I mean, I can't fit in that world. I can't. Are you still back that way? Or are you one of those women that said, I want to walk behind my husband as a successful woman behind, or I want to walk by the side, because at the end of the day, everything is coming to the table. Now the men ask, now, what do you bring to the table? Now they're not asking about, it's not about you being beautiful, it's not about you being this and that. What do you bring to the table? Now, joining us this segment is Professor Edwina Ama. She just joined us. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Now, before you walked in, we are trying to dissect what we as women, and we know that sometimes women are women's problem, whether we like it or not. Because some of the things that the men will let go, we will not let go. We will hold on to them. And like I said earlier, do we really want to see ourselves prosper or progress and all that? And Dr. Ife she had a question that she was dealing with before you walked in. Let me allow her to finish up. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I was talking about women, and you asked what we will do to help the female gender, participate better in a male-dominated terrain.
Exactly.
And having said that, I just emphasize that it has to be the opportunity and the change of mindset.
Okay.
For the child to know that you can be whoever or whatever you want to be, given the same opportunity, the male gender. But then I said I had my reservations, because I feel that the beauty of womanhood is by her femininity. And there's a price to pay where we decide we want us to fully engage in every other aspect the men do. Sports, career,
yes,
and all.
Yes.
We're seeing women now getting actively involved in football.
Yes.
And I asked myself, if I had a female child who is a footballer and she works like a man, how satisfied would I be? I'm being realistic.
Of course.
So yes, equality is something that is far-fetched. There is nothing that will bring about equality in any aspect. Even the fingers are not equal. But what I'm asking for is the same opportunity. Nevertheless, when we allow our female children get engaged in male-dominated terrain, we should learn to emphasize that the femininity and what makes us women should not be taken away from us.
Okay, Prof. Let me quickly ask this now. Do you think there is a gender bias in university faculty hiring and promotions? How can institutions address this? Now, if you go for this job now, and the first thing you look at, you're a woman, are you married, you have children? They try to relegate. They feel you have other responsibility, and so you're not capable. You can't do this job. Is there something like that in university?
I don't think so. Where I come from,
Okay.
University of Port Harcourt.
Okay.
If you have what it takes to get promoted, they allow you to get promoted.
Okay.
I don't know about what it is at engagement points, but now once you're in, you have the required papers, you are promoted.
Okay.
You answer your questions if you are physically asked questions and you answer them. You will get what you want. So it's not, there is no bias of any type.
Okay.
In the university, at least to my knowledge for now.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Lami, let me ask this question now. Let me come from the angle because we are all women and we are all entrepreneurs. In one way or the other, we are, even with what we do at home, what we do in our businesses and our job places. Let me ask this question now. What challenges do you face as a woman if you are an entrepreneur, and how do you think you can overcome them?
Well, you know, sometimes when I look at myself and the things ahead of me, like for instance, when I was running my program, I need to do something to also, you know, bring finance to the table, taking care of the children and everyone around me and my environment. A lot, you know, is a lot on the woman. But that notwithstanding, you just have to do something. So what I do is I try to learn a skill like making of soap.
Okay.
You know, a friend just introduced it to me, say, come to my house, let me just show you how to do this thing. So I just learned it. In a twinkle of an eye, I was able to do it. Today I can comfortably, I no longer buy it, I can comfortably teach people and also, you know, do and give to families that, look, this is from me, or if you want it, I can give you this.
Okay.
So you just have to encourage yourself, you know, in doing, and also learning that thing. If you don't have the skills, you can ask from your fellow woman or anywhere. You can also pay for it,
Okay.
you know, to learn something, you know.
Okay. Okay, Prof, let me come back to you again now. Do you think mentorship plays a role in shaping women's academic careers? Or if you think so, can you share any mentorship experience with us?
Definitely, it does.
Okay.
So much. It
Okay.
does. You can't take it away. It does a lot. Currently, in Unicodes, these students I teach, I go to class and I tell them that you're just not coming to school for nothing. At the end of the day, there are two things. It's either you work for yourself or you work for somebody.
Okay.
And you need the skills to do this too. Skills to work for yourself in the future or skills to work for somebody. And so I tell them that you just have to be serious. I had championed the acquisition of skills in Unicodes. And right now we are doing it.
Okay.
Before I went there in 2012, they were only doing CBT. That's they do theory and they write computer-based tests.
Yes.
And then I became the director of entrepreneurship, this entrepreneurship center in Unicodes. I felt that from the NUC's BMAS, students are supposed to do entrepreneurship twice, one theory and one hands-on practicals. So I carried out the campaign.
Okay.
And today, to God's glory, it has come to stay. We passed through thick and thin. I won't lie to you, it was not easy. We took it to the Senate, it was brought down, they didn't accept it because some people were benefiting from it. And then we went to the faculties and talked with the faculty deans and told them that this is a win-win thing. Our students need skill.
Okay.
They need skill to survive while waiting for the white-collar jobs that are not readily available.
Exactly.
And so they bought into the idea and we started. And by the time the school authorities saw that it was coming on fine, they hijacked it and took it to the entrepreneurial center, which is what I had been asking for from day one, 2016. It is just last year, so we took it to the entrepreneurial center. And right now in Unicorn, every student that is graduating will practice a hands-on skill and come up with something. So I think with that, one has achieved something. I'm just happy for myself that I was able to do that through.
That's beautiful.
That's a good
See, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, let me come to you, Doctor. What changes would you like to see in higher education to support women better?
Inclusiveness, first of all,
Okay.
in every strata of administration, in everything wholesomely, in everything that has to do with life, and every other thing. Because when you say education, I think beyond literacy. I see the formal and the informal aspect of it. Like Prof is so fortunate to be in a system where there's equality in administration. Not everyone enjoys it, not even in the church too. Those barricades are still there. So I look forward to seeing any area of human endeavor where there is opportunity for the female gender to express themselves and express themselves adequately, because there's an expression that is still limited, because you are expected to keep quiet. And I also want to see that expression that comes from the inside of a woman. You know, like when she was talking about the opportunity she had, I was asking myself, when I put my scale of preference, what am I supposed to drop and what am I supposed to uplift? Because before you venture into something, you think, what are the stakes? What is my benefit? What am I supposed to leave behind? I'm a mother. For many years of my life, I left professional pursuits because the home front had to be in order.
Yeah.
There are prices to pay.
Exactly.
So if you have to do those things, you have to ask yourself, what is my scale of preference? What do I want? Self-actualization among others. What is the easiest way for me to get there? And if I get there, will I actually be fulfilled? If all these questions are answered, I think the sky is just our starting point.
Exactly. So now, Dr. Yala, have you faced any gender-related challenges in your journey, and how did you navigate them?
I have, because I went somewhere to seek for employment, and when I got there, they saw me, and we had other experience, male, not even female, because looking at it, there were very few that came for that. But looking at the whole thing, a guy saw me and said, I beg women, you could like disturbing people, just go and do other things and stop disturbing us with this employment thing, That's not right. I told him, I said, look, we all have equal rights, and we all have. This is an opportunity for me to be here to do something.
To be
so
here.
you don't just put me, by the side to say you are not supposed to be here doing this thing. So those are part of the challenges one faces when you want to come out, doing something that you want people to hear, you want people to see, you want to, also empower your fellow women. You see that there are some challenges that will come up, either people discouraging you, people saying words that you ought not to. But when you listen to such, you'll not be able to achieve it. You just have to put things behind and just push on, so you can achieve your aim and objective, why you want to do that thing.
Well, all of this thing you're talking about now, the girl child, the gender, the rights, the empowerment within us in this urban area, do you think we could actually get to the rural areas with the women, coming from the background we know, or how we are brought up, how the men are being kept, how women are being this, we have the way the Beninese, when they come to the public, they don't speak. So you see them they have this
Women.
white handkerchief, they cover them up, they're not allowed to talk. So we don't have that opportunity to look, I want to vie for this position, and excuse me, I just stated here that we had a president who said the wife is in the other room and the kitchen. Now, do you think we can take this campaign to the rural areas and we'll get something positive out of it?
Yes, why not?
Okay, how do we go about it?
Every opportunity we find to encourage women to come up and stand for themselves should be picked up and used.
And the men will not see us as we are competing, because that is the way it seems.
No.
Okay?
This time around, the campaign should be located on be something for yourself.
Okay? Be something
for
for yourself.
So
Okay?
if that is done, after all, these men are asking for you what you will bring
To the table.
So how do you bring something to the table when
If you are nothing.
If you are not nothing. So I think they want their sisters to be something. They want their relatives to be something. So in that way, that campaign, we need to tell the girls that your place is not just to marry and be fed by a man. You should be able to take responsibility for yourself. You have siblings, you have responsibility to take care of, and so you should be able to fend for yourself. Gone are the days when they say woman is of your belly, you came to eat your husband's wealth. No, you should come and and also make the wealth yourself.
Okay.
And it's possible.
So in doing that, what policies should universities implement to promote gender balance in leadership positions? What policies should university implement to promote gender balance in leadership positions?
Universities, we don't have any problem with that. For example, becoming head of department is according to your rank and your stay in the university.
Okay.
So it's nothing like you came to your turn, you are a woman. And so I was at the entrepreneurial center. I stayed for just a year and a month. They came looking for me that it was my turn to become HOD. And I told them, please just allow me to implement what I have planned for this place. It didn't work. They said of all the people I must come and be their HOD, that I was primarily their staff before I was seconded to the entrepreneurial center. So I've not seen a situation where it is somebody's turn to be head of department or to be one thing or the other, and the person was denied for, except the vice chancellor just want to play pranks, and that will just be maybe things that are at his disposal, like being heads of centers. But if it is the real core thing of being who should be the head of department, as for the dean, it is campaign for women go for the election, they also win and become head of deans of faculty. We had a dean that was the head of the dean for with 9 departments under her. Yes, the faculty of science. The time the woman was the dean. Not once, not twice, about twice or more. The woman was the dean. They all voted for her, and she did very well. So if it comes to those positions, there's no problem in the university. They know how to go around it. You cannot come after me and then come and be my head of department without any negotiation or any this thing around it.
Okay. So add to that, so I also enjoy a platform that gives that right to express. Where there is no nepotism, where there is no stigma because of who you are. But then I find the greatest challenge is we ourselves not daring to venture. That's just it.
Yes.
We just kind of limit ourselves. There is no need to even try. Yes. No need to try, we will not do it. Like the kind of job I do, I stay in Port Harcourt, I work in the States.
Yes.
It takes courage for you to wake up every day and go that mile. So if you don't even know or believe within yourself that it's something that is possible and achievable, you remain there and you think the main folks are taking your position. It's just you limiting yourself.
Okay. Talking about policies on ground, I think in our today's world, the government is trying, and I think when there's a policy that is geared towards gender equality, then opportunities are being given to everyone. You see, people also venture into such. As women, you want to do what men do, you're not being limited. So when policies are on ground, that is fair enough, opportunities for also women to also attain particular level, they'll come up to become whatever they want to.
Fair enough policies, not just policies.
And those policies are not there in politics.
Yes, ma'am.
Those policies are not there.
We have them in universities.
We have them in universities, and they are just about in politics. They are not there. Recently, there was a bill they brought that they wanted this to be done. I think in the last assembly, they turned it down. They didn't allow it to go through. So until we come to that point, even the 30%, we don't have it in Nigeria. We are not yet there. So that policy, those policies must be put in place, even in politics. That 30% of the positions for elective this should be given to women, 35 should be given to women.
Exclusively.
Should. And when that is on ground, the women that have what it takes to aspire for such things will now go for it. But right now, the situation is so bad that it takes the grace of God for anybody to penetrate, and even when they do, some people will end up castigating the woman that she has sold herself. She has done the other thing. But when it is of a right and there's a policy to that, like for example in Rivers State, I think our last governor put it in place that every local government should have a female as the deputy, or the local.
As it stands right now, all of the 23 local governments in Rivers State has the HLGAs as women.
That's impressive.
They're all women.
That is what was put in place during the last administration. And because the policy is there, it is happening seamlessly. But it is not there in other positions. Like in the House of Assembly now, there is no this thing to say women should be this percentage or that. It just pick the women they want and put them. So within that policy,
the one thing I frown at this job is time. You know, they say water has no enemy, but this program has an enemy, which is time. Is always never allowing us to exhaust what we have to do. Now, I'll just ask in just 2 questions so we can run up because we're out of time now. In the business world, how do we uplift each other in the business world? Then, after you answer that, you just do your final notes so that we can just say goodbye to our beautiful viewer out there. In the business world, how do we uplift one another?
I think we should collaborate. Collaborate.
Okay.
In that way, we will be able to do what we are supposed to do. And as individuals in the business world, we should also go for excellence. Because nobody is buying something from you because of pity.
Exactly.
It is because of how good your product is.
Yes.
So give them the best, go for excellence, and let women also try to collaborate and cooperate with one another.
Okay.
When that happens, we will be able to make our way
Okay.
to achieve our goals that we are looking out for.
Okay.
And also being supportive.
Okay.
You know, when we support one another, I think.
Yeah. Go on,
Okay, and I would like us to see every growth opportunity not as a competition,
Okay.
but actually as an opportunity to grow. To avoid, what will I say, very malicious terrain where we end up castigating ourselves instead of giving ourselves the platform to grow.
So, in one sentence, each will just say something to the girl, to the woman out there who is watching. Let's start with you.
Okay, the girl child in Nigeria, you can be what you want to be. Recently, I saw something, a girl that was a daughter of a driver to Babangida is right now a senator.
Wow.
So it is possible if you make up your mind that you will do that thing you want to be.
You
As
can
a
achieve
girl
it.
child, you can achieve it.
Okay.
Just get educated and be focused. You
Okay.
get there.
Okay. Okay.
Well, as a girl child, this is a message for you. You're strong, you're beautiful, you're energetic, and you can push on. You can push on and achieve.
Okay. Dr. Ife.
And for me, I would say to the girl child
And to the woman.
and to the woman, impossibility is just a word. Everything is possible.
Thank you so much. You've heard it all today. If you're a woman or you're a girl out there, push it with that word, I can't do it. I hate to hear that. You know, tell yourself you can do it. Whether it's a male word or wherever you find yourself, convince yourself that you can do it. These are women who have seen it and they're still impacting life. They're still empowering, and there is more to come. If you need mentorship, if you need someone to mentor you, give me a phone call and they're available to mentor you. Thanks so much for doing this with us. We want to believe that you will keep watching RSTV, and I'm sure that next time when I call you for delicious topic like this, you will oblige us. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Odi. Thank you so much. It's good to have you there. Don't change that. We have other interesting programs lined up for your viewing pleasure. My name is Beauty Benjamin.